Ever had a throat infection that just wouldn't go away? You've probably been there, struggling with a persistent sore throat, wondering why it keeps returning. Well, it turns out the culprit might not even be in your throat. Yes, you heard it right. Your sinuses, ears, and even tonsils could be the origin of these relentless throat infections. Intriguing, isn't it? But it's true. Did you know that throat infections can actually come from your sinuses, ears, or even tonsils? A persistent throat infection can be like a mystery with clues hidden in different parts of your body. Now, let's unravel this mystery together, shall we? Picture this. Imagine a postnasal sinus drip where mucus is constantly trickling down from your sinuses into the back of your throat. This mucus can become a breeding ground for bacteria, leading to a throat infection. Now let's turn our attention to our ears. An ear infection can cause mucus to build up in the eustachian tubes on either side of your head. This mucus can then find its way into the throat and again create an environment ripe for infection. Interestingly, our bodies have a built-in defense system against such invasions. This takes us to the tonsils. Think of them as vigilant guards at the gates of your throat. These immune glands can swell up, particularly in children, in an attempt to fight off infections. However, in their zealous defense, they can themselves become a source of infection. It's like a detective story, isn't it? The throat is the crime scene, but the culprits could be hiding in the sinuses, the ears, or even the tonsils. So when trying to treat a persistent throat infection, it's crucial to look beyond the obvious. So it's not just about treating the throat, but about understanding where the infection is coming from. Sometimes the culprit behind a persistent throat infection could be hiding in unexpected places. For instance, it's not uncommon for mucus to rise up from the esophagus. This could be due to a condition like acid reflux, which irritates the esophagus and causes mucus production as a protective response. Similarly, the lungs can also contribute to a surplus of mucus, particularly in conditions like bronchitis or pneumonia. Now, why is this important? Well, when you're trying to tackle a persistent throat infection, it's crucial to consider all possible sources. If you overlook the esophagus or the lungs, you might find yourself caught in a frustrating cycle of infection and recovery. So, if you've been struggling with a throat infection that just won't quit, it might be time to think outside the box. Look beyond the obvious suspects like the sinuses, ears, and tonsils, and consider the roles that the esophagus and lungs might be playing. Remember, your body is a complex system, and a problem in one area can show up in another. Now that you understand where throat infections can come from, let's explore some solutions. One simple and inexpensive remedy is sea salt. It may sound a bit unconventional, but it's a tried and true method for battling respiratory irritations. Sea salt has properties that help to soothe inflamed tissues and kill off harmful bacteria, making it an excellent tool in your arsenal against throat infections. But before you reach for that salt shaker, let's clarify something important. Not all salts are created equal. Ordinary table salt, the type you might sprinkle over your French fries, is not what we're talking about here. Table salt often contains additives and anti-caking agents. Plus, the source of the salt, that is, where and how it's mined, can be a mystery. These factors can impact its purity and effectiveness when used as a remedy. So when we talk about using salt to combat throat infections, we're specifically referring to sea salt. This natural product, harvested from evaporated seawater, retains essential minerals that can aid in healing. Using sea salt as a remedy is quite straightforward. You simply dissolve a teaspoon of sea salt in warm water, then gargle the mixture for about a minute before spitting it out. This process can be repeated several times a day, providing relief from the discomfort of a sore throat and helping to speed up recovery. What's great about this method is that it's not only effective but also accessible. Sea salt is readily available in most local grocery stores and is a cost-effective solution to throat infections. Of course, it's important to remember that while sea salt can help alleviate symptoms and fight infection, it should not replace proper medical treatment. If your throat infection is severe or persistent, it's crucial to seek advice from a healthcare professional. So the next time you're dealing with a stubborn throat infection, remember to look beyond the throat and consider the sea salt solution.